Hello there, I'm so glad you found your way here. Tonight, as the world outside slowly dims and the hours fold themselves quietly into evening, you have arrived in a soft, safe place where nothing is asked of you and nothing is expected. You may let your shoulders fall, just a little. You may let your hands rest, just where they are. You may let your breath become slower, softer, sweeter, like a gentle tide moving in and out along the inside of your chest. Tonight, we travel together to a place of ancient quiet. A place where the air smells of cold stone and pine resin, where the water holds more secrets than the sky holds stars. Tonight, we drift toward Lake Baikal, the deepest lake in the world, hidden in the heart of southern Siberia, cradled by mountains older than memory, and watched over by a moon that seems, somehow, closer there than anywhere else. Imagine that lake now. Imagine its surface, smooth as a sheet of dark glass, holding the soft glow of starlight in its long, silver arms. Imagine the silence around it, that deep, listening silence, broken only by the faint sigh of wind through cedar trees and the gentle creak of ice settling beneath a winter sky. If you find comfort here, if your breath begins to slow and your eyes begin to soften, you're welcome to leave a quiet light or follow along on this slow channel, so we may walk these dreamlike paths together again on another sleepy night. There is no rush, no urgency, only you and the lake and a story unfolding softly, like petals opening in moonlight. So allow your body to settle deeper into wherever you are resting. Let your thoughts grow long and slow and far away. Let the lake come closer, fact by gentle fact, image by tender image. And now, with the hush of evening all around us, let's begin this slow and soothing journey together. Picture yourself standing now at the edge of this great, sleeping lake. The pebbles beneath your feet are smooth and cool, polished by centuries of patient water. A soft mist rises from the surface like a slow exhale, curling upward into the violet hush of twilight. Somewhere far across the water, a single light flickers, warm as candlelight in a distant cabin window. The mountains around you are quiet giants, wrapped in old forests, listening as they have always listened. Let your eyes grow heavy as we step softly into the first of 100 gentle truths about Lake Baikal. Each one is a small lantern, each one a soft pillow for the mind. There is nothing to remember, nothing to hold, only to drift and to listen and to slowly, sweetly, fall asleep. Lake Baikal lies in the south of Siberia, curled like a great silver crescent between two long ranges of ancient mountains. From above, it looks almost like a quiet eye gazing up at the sky, its lashes made of forest and stone. The lake stretches nearly 400 miles from end to end, a long, slow ribbon of water resting in the cradle of the earth. If you were a bird drifting high above it on a still summer evening, you would see only a soft blue mirror, holding the moving clouds within it as gently as a child holds a paper boat. The land around it folds in soft layers of green and gray, dressed in pine and cedar, dressed in mist and time. And the lake itself, calm and immense, simply waits there, breathing slowly, as it has waited for millions and millions of patient, dreaming years. Baikal is the oldest lake in the world, older than almost anything you might think of as old. It was born about 25 million years ago, in a time when the continents themselves were still rearranging their gentle shapes. Most lakes on Earth live only a brief life of a few thousand years before slowly filling with sediment and softly disappearing. But Baikal was made differently. It rests inside a slow widening crack in the Earth's crust. And that crack continues to open, ever so quietly, by less than the width of a fingernail each year. And so the lake grows older without growing tired, deeper without growing weary, It is a place where time itself seems to settle and rest, a long, slow lullaby sung by the stones beneath the water. Baikal is the deepest lake in the world. At its deepest point, the water reaches more than 5,300 feet down into the gentle dark, deeper than any other freshwater lake the world has ever known. Imagine that depth as a long, soft staircase descending slowly into a hush of midnight blue. Light cannot reach the bottom. Sound cannot reach the bottom. Only the patient cold and the slow pulse of ancient water reach the bottom. And down there, in that velvet darkness, the lake bed lies quiet, dressed in fine silt that has fallen, particle by particle, for millions of years. It is a place no human eye has ever truly seen, and yet it exists, calmly, eternally, holding the weight of all that water like a careful palm holding a single, sleeping star. Baikal holds more fresh water than any other lake on Earth. About 1/5 of all the world's unfrozen freshwater lies cradled within its quiet basin. If every river on the planet stopped flowing tomorrow, Baikal alone could supply fresh drinking water to all of humanity for nearly half a century. Think of that gentle abundance, that soft generosity, resting silently in one long curve of stone. The lake holds enough water to fill all 5 of the North American Great Lakes combined, and still have room for more. And yet, when you stand at its shore, it does not feel boastful. It feels humble. It feels like a great, gentle being simply doing what it has always done, holding water, holding light, holding life, with the patient kindness of something ancient and good. The water of Baikal is famously, breathtakingly clear. In some places, especially in winter, you can look down into it and see objects more than 130 feet below the surface, drifting in slow blue light. The clarity comes from tiny, transparent creatures called epishura, small as grains of pollen, who spend their lives gently filtering the water. They drift through the lake by the trillions, each one a tiny lantern keeper, polishing the great hall of water until it shines like liquid crystal. When you gaze into Baikal, you are not only seeing water, you are seeing the long, patient work of countless small lives, each one contributing its quiet labor to the slow making of a wonder. In winter, Baikal freezes into a sheet of ice so clear that it sometimes looks like dark blue glass laid gently across the world. The ice can grow more than 3 feet thick, strong enough to drive cars upon, and yet so transparent in places that one feels almost as if one were walking on the surface of a frozen sky. Beneath your feet, you may see long, pale cracks branching like silver lightning, frozen in place. You may see bubbles caught mid-rise, suspended forever in their slow upward journey. The ice creaks and sings beneath the cold sun, a soft, low music that rolls across the lake like the sigh of some vast, sleeping creature. It is beautiful in a way that quiets the mind, beautiful in a way that asks only to be witnessed and remembered and softly loved. In late winter, when the cold has done its long, slow work, strange and beautiful shapes appear upon Baikal's ice. They are called turquoise ice shards, thin plates of frozen water that rise up from the surface and lean against one another like the petals of a vast frozen flower. From a distance, they glow a soft pale blue, almost the color of a winter morning sky just before sunrise. When the wind passes through them, they chime gently, like a chorus of tiny crystal bells, each note hanging briefly in the cold air before drifting away. Walking among them feels like walking through a dream made of light and silence, a place where the cold itself has decided to become art, and where every careful footstep feels like the turning of a page in a long, quiet book of wonders. The land around Baikal is one of the oldest pieces of the planet's surface, and it is gentled by long, slow forests. To the west rise the Primorsky and Baikal Mountains, low and worn smooth by time, dressed in pine and larch and birch. To the east stand the Kamar Daban Range and the Barguzin Mountains, their shoulders white with snow for much of the year. The trees in these forests grow slowly, patiently, drinking the cold and the mist. Some of them are hundreds of years old, their bark soft with lichen, their roots curled into the dark earth like sleeping hands. Walking among them, you feel as though you are walking through a quiet cathedral made of wood and shadow, where every sound is muffled, where every breath becomes a soft, whispered prayer to the long, kind patience of the world. Baikal is sometimes called the Pearl of Siberia, and at certain times of day, you can see why. When the morning sun rises behind the eastern mountains, the light spreads slowly across the water, and the lake begins to glow with a soft, pale luminescence, as though a great pearl were resting in a jeweler's hand. The light is silver, then rose, then gold, shifting gently as the minutes pass. The mountains catch the light first, then the mist, then the surface of the water itself, and finally the pebbles along the shore. By the time the full morning has arrived, the whole world around Baikal seems polished and new. Freshly made, freshly loved, freshly opened like the first quiet page of a long and gentle story. In the local language of the Buryat people, who have lived along these shores for many centuries, the lake is called the Sacred Sea. And though it is a lake, not a sea, the name fits in a deep and gentle way. Baikal is so vast that storms can rise upon it as suddenly as they do upon the ocean, and its waves can climb as high as 15 feet during the strongest winds. But on most days, the lake is calm and softly breathing, a great blue creature at rest. The Buryat people sing songs to it, leave small offerings at its shore, and speak of it as a living being, gentle and old. To them, Baikal is not only water. It is a presence, a soul, a quiet grandmother whispering through the wind in the cedars. Olkhon Island lies near the western shore of Baikal, the largest island in the lake. It is a long, narrow shape, about 45 miles from one end to the other, rising gently from the water like the back of a sleeping whale. The island is dressed in steppe grasses, in small dunes, in soft forests, and in tall weather-softened cliffs. Wild horses sometimes wander across its open meadows, their manes lifting in the cold breeze, their hoofbeats muffled by the long grass. The island is sacred to the Buryat people, and it is said that the spirits of the lake gather here on certain quiet nights. Whether or not one believes in such things, there is a feeling about Olkhon, a feeling of being watched kindly by something old, something that has loved this place for far, far longer than any human heart could measure. On the northern tip of Olkhon Island stands Cape Cowboy, a long finger of stone reaching out into the lake. From there, on a clear day, you can see the open water stretching to the horizon, a great blue silence that meets the sky in a single soft line. Eagles sometimes circle high above the cape, riding the slow updrafts, their wings barely moving. The wind here smells of cold water, of distant snow, of pine resin warmed by the sun. Standing on Cape Cowboy, you feel very small in the very best way, the way a single quiet candle feels small inside a large, peaceful room. The vastness does not frighten. It comforts. It reminds you that you are a small, gentle part of a very large, gentle world, and that the world is holding you, kindly, even now. Shaman Rock is one of the most famous places on Olkhon Island. It is a small twin-peaked rock formation rising from the water near the western shore, draped sometimes in pale mist, sometimes in soft golden sunlight. For many centuries, the Buryat people have considered this rock one of the holiest places in the world. They believed that a great spirit lived inside it, watching over the lake and the people who came to its shore. Even now, prayer flags flutter softly from nearby trees, and small offerings of coins and ribbons are tied to the branches by quiet hands. Standing near Shaman Rock at dusk, when the light turns lavender and the water grows still, you can almost feel the breath of something ancient passing through the air, a presence kind and patient, like the gentle hand of a grandmother stroking the hair of a sleeping child. 330 rivers flow into Baikal from the surrounding lands, carrying with them the snowmelt of distant mountains, the rainfall of distant forests, the quiet runoff of distant meadows. They arrive at the lake like travelers coming home, each one with its own small song, its own pattern of light upon stones. The largest is the Selenga River, which winds for nearly 1,000 miles before reaching Baikal, drawing water from far away in Mongolia. The smallest are little streams you could step across, hidden among the trees. And yet only one river flows out of Baikal, the Angara, who slips away from the lake's western shore and carries its gift of clear water onward, eventually joining the great Yenisei River and traveling all the way to the cold Arctic Ocean. There is a beloved legend about the Angara River and her father Baikal, told for generations by the Buryat people. The story says that old Baikal had many daughters, the rivers that flow into him, but only one ran away. The Angara, his most beautiful daughter, fell in love with the distant Yenisei and slipped away in the night to join him. In his sorrow, old Baikal threw a great stone after her to stop her, and that stone became Shaman Rock, standing forever at the place where she escaped. It is a story of love and longing, and the gentle ache of letting go, told softly around small fires on long winter nights, while the snow falls outside and the lake sleeps quietly beneath its silver blanket of ice. The water of Baikal is unusually rich in oxygen, even at its deepest points. This is something almost no other deep lake in the world can claim. The cold currents of the lake move in slow, patient circles, carrying fresh, oxygen-rich water down into the deep darkness and bringing the older, deeper water gently back up to meet the light. It is a great, slow breathing motion, as if the lake itself were a vast lung, inhaling and exhaling across the centuries. This gentle breathing is one of the reasons Baikal can support so many forms of life in its depths, even thousands of feet down, where the sun cannot reach. Small creatures swim quietly through oxygen-kissed water, carrying on their tiny lives in the soft, slow rhythms of a place that has always known how to take care of those who live within it. Because Baikal is so old, so deep, and so isolated, it has become home to creatures that exist nowhere else in the world. More than 2,000 species of plants and animals live in and around the lake, and about 2/3 of them are found only here. Scientists call this kind of place a biological wonder, a living museum of slow evolution. Each tiny creature, each soft mossy plant, each strange small fish has spent millions of years adapting to the precise, quiet rhythms of Baikal. They are not found in any other lake, on any other shore, in any other moment of the planet's long memory. Baikal is, in this way, a place of utter uniqueness, a place that holds 1,000 small secrets nowhere else on Earth knows how to keep. The Baikal seal, called the Nerpa, is one of the most beloved creatures in the lake. It is the only freshwater seal in the entire world, a soft, round, silver-gray being with large dark eyes and a gentle, almost smiling face. The Nerpa lives nowhere else but here, swimming through the cold, clear water, resting on small rocky islets, sometimes hauling itself onto the winter ice to rest beneath the cold sun. How a seal came to live in this freshwater lake, so far from any sea, is still a quiet mystery. Scientists believe its ancestors may have traveled here long ago, perhaps through ancient rivers that no longer exist. However it came, the Nerpa is now utterly at home, swimming through Baikal as if it had always belonged, as if the lake itself had whispered, "Long ago, please stay." In winter, the mother Nerpas build small snow caves on top of the thick lake ice, soft hidden chambers where they raise their tiny white pups. The pups are born with thick, fluffy white fur, the color of fresh snow, the color of clean winter clouds. They rest inside their snow caves, warm and safe, while their mothers slip away through hidden holes in the ice to hunt for fish in the dim blue water below. The pups grow quickly, and within a few weeks, their white fur gives way to the silver gray of adulthood. But for those first quiet days, they are like small, soft secrets tucked inside the snow, sleeping deeply in their hidden cradles, listening to the muffled hush of the wind moving across the frozen sea above them. The omul is a beloved fish of Baikal, a slender silver swimmer that has lived in the lake for countless generations. It moves in great gentle schools through the cool, deep water, flashing softly when the sunlight touches it. The omul is a kind of whitefish, related to salmon, and for centuries, it has been a quiet gift from the lake to the people who live along its shore. Smoked omul is a famous specialty of the region, often sold by friendly vendors in small market towns, wrapped in paper and still warm from the smoker. The taste is said to be unlike any other fish in the world, mild and tender, infused with the cold purity of Baikal itself. To eat smoked omul on the shore at sunset, with the lake spread out before you, is to taste the gentle generosity of this ancient place. Deep down in the dark waters of Baikal lives a strange and gentle fish called the golomianka. It is almost completely transparent, its body so soft and full of oil that if you held it in your hand, it would slowly melt in the warmth of your palm. The golomianka does not lay eggs like other fish. Instead, the mother quietly gives birth to tiny live young, who drift away into the dark water like small, soft sparks. The golomianka spends its life moving slowly up and down through the deep water, rising in the cool night to feed, and sinking again at dawn. It is one of the most unusual fish in the world, a creature so delicate that it almost seems made of moonlight and shadow, a quiet inhabitant of a quiet world, far beneath the silver surface of the lake. The amphipods of Baikal are perhaps the most surprising of all its small creatures. These are tiny shrimp-like beings, and the lake is home to more than 350 kinds of them, each one slightly different from the next. Some are small enough to rest on the tip of a finger. Others are large for amphipods, nearly the length of a child's hand. They come in colors that seem painted by a dreaming artist: soft greens, gentle violets, deep oranges, pale silvers. They live everywhere in the lake, from the warm shallows to the cold, cold deeps. Without them, Baikal would not be Baikal. They are the quiet helpers of the lake, the small, careful housekeepers who tidy the water and tend the soft balance of life, working ceaselessly and without recognition, like every kind grandmother who has ever lived. The forests around Baikal are home to many gentle creatures. Brown bears walk slowly through the cedar groves, their thick fur catching the morning sun. Wolves move quietly in small family packs across the high meadows. Sables, soft-furred and quick, weave through the lower branches of the trees, their dark eyes bright with curiosity. Lynxes pad through the snow in winter, their long tufted ears alert to the smallest whisper of sound. Red foxes hunt along the lake's edge, their bright tails brushing the cold pebbles. Reindeer rest in the high mountain valleys, their breath rising in soft clouds. All of these creatures live in a quiet harmony with the land and the water, each one a small thread in the great soft tapestry of life that Baikal has woven slowly, kindly across the long, long pages of time. The musk deer is one of the more unusual gentle creatures of the forests around Baikal. It is a small, shy animal, no larger than a medium-sized dog, with soft brown fur and large dark eyes that seem to hold all the quietness of the woods. The male musk deer has long, delicate tusks that curve gently down from his upper jaw, giving him a strange and beautiful appearance, almost like a creature from an old folk tale. The musk deer moves silently through the deep woods, leaving barely a trace, eating slowly from soft mosses and tender ferns. To glimpse one is rare, and those who do say it feels almost like glimpsing a small spirit of the forest, a creature half real, half dream, slipping back into the shadows of the trees before you can quite be sure you saw it at all. In the cold heights of the mountains around Baikal, snow leopards have sometimes been seen, though they are rare and wonderfully shy. These soft, pale cats move like drifting snow themselves. Their thick fur the color of cloud and frost, their long tails curled around them for warmth as they rest on high stony ledges. They watch the lake from far above, their pale eyes half closed in the cold sun, seeing things no human eye is meant to see. To know that snow leopards still walk these mountains, even now, is to know that the world still keeps some of its oldest, gentlest mysteries safe. They are the quiet guardians of the high places, the soft, silent kings of the cold, watching over Baikal from peaks crowned forever in ice and starlight. The forests around Baikal are particularly famous for their cedars, called Siberian pines. Though they are not true pines or true cedars, they are tall, graceful trees, growing slowly across hundreds of years. Their needles soft, their cones heavy with rich pine nuts. The pine nuts of these trees are sweet and nourishing, and for centuries the people of the region have gathered them in the autumn, climbing carefully into the branches or shaking the cones gently to the ground. Bears love these pine nuts too, and sables and squirrels and small birds with bright eyes. The cedar groves smell of resin and earth, of cool shadow and slow sunshine. To walk beneath them is to feel the centuries pressing softly upon your shoulders, a kindly weight, a gentle reminder of all the slow good things the world has been quietly making. Century after century, for as long as there has been a world, in the warm months of summer, wildflowers spread across the meadows around Baikal like a soft handmade quilt. There are pale blue forget-me-nots, tiny and sincere. There are golden buttercups, simple and bright. There are wild irises in shades of violet and cream, their petals delicate as silk. There are edelweiss tucked among the high rocks, white and woolly, like small stars made of soft cloth. The meadows hum gently with the sound of bees, and butterflies float by in slow, drifting patterns, their wings the colors of stained glass. To lie down in such a meadow and look up at the long blue sky, with the lake glittering nearby and the mountains rising in the distance, is to feel the world as it is meant to be felt, kind, alive, abundant, and softly, softly singing. Baikal lies in a place where many quiet weather patterns gather and pass softly through. In summer, the days are long, sometimes lasting nearly 20 hours of soft northern light, with the sun barely dipping below the horizon. In winter, the days grow short and the nights grow long, and the great curtain of darkness becomes a velvet stage for the slow, gentle dance of stars. Spring comes slowly, hesitantly, with melting ice and quiet birdsong. Autumn arrives in a burst of golden color, the larches turning a pure, warm yellow before letting their needles fall. Each season touches the lake differently, paints it differently, sings to it differently. And Baikal, ancient and patient, receives each season as a kind old friend, welcoming the changes with the same calm grace it has always shown. In the deepest part of winter, the people of the region celebrate the great ice of Baikal in many small, joyful ways. There are gentle ice festivals where artists carve delicate sculptures from blocks of frozen water, sculptures of horses and birds and small dreaming children. There are quiet walks across the ice on clear, cold days, where families bundle warmly and bring thermoses of hot tea. Sometimes there are even soft ice skating gatherings on the smoothest patches, where the ice rings out beneath the blades like a low, sweet bell. The cold is sharp, but the joy is real, and the lake holds it all, as it has always held everything, with calm and patient grace, The town of Listvianka rests on the western shore of Baikal, near the place where the Angara River begins its long journey away. It is a small, friendly settlement of wooden houses with carved window frames painted in soft blues and greens. There is a small harbor where wooden boats rock gently in the morning light. There is a market where local people sell smoked omul, hot bread, and small jars of pine nut jam. There are little tea houses where steam rises from samovars and the windows fog gently in the cold air. To wander through Listvianka in the early evening, as the lamps come on and the lake turns silver, is to feel as though you have stepped into a quiet illustration from a beloved old storybook, a place where time moves slowly and kindly through every small wooden room. Above Listvianka, on a high hill called Chersky Stone, there is a viewpoint where you can stand and gaze across the wide silver mouth of the Angara River and the open expanse of Baikal beyond. On a clear day, you can see for many miles the lake stretching softly toward the eastern shore, the mountains rising in the distance like the gentle shoulders of sleeping giants. People come here to think, to breathe, to watch the slow movement of clouds across the water. The wind is fresh and clean, smelling of cold stone and pine. Standing at Chersky Stone, you feel as though the whole great calm of Baikal is opening itself to you, asking nothing, offering everything, simply being there as it has always been. The Circum-Baikal Railway is one of the most beautiful slow journeys in the world. It runs along the southwestern shore of the lake, threading its way through old tunnels carved by patient hands more than 100 years ago. The train moves softly along the track, sometimes passing through stone arches, sometimes emerging into open views of the lake, the water spreading silver and endless beside the windows. There are tiny stations along the way where the train pauses, and small villages hidden in the folds of the hills, where chickens scratch in the dust and old wooden churches stand quietly among the trees. To ride this railway is to be carried gently through a moving painting, hour by hour, scene by tender scene. The tunnels of the Circum-Baikal Railway were dug by hand in the early years of the 20th century, and there are more than 30 of them, each one a small, dark archway through the stone. Inside, the air is cool and smells faintly of old earth. Outside, the cliffs rise sharply, dressed in moss and pale lichens, their faces softened by 100 years of wind and rain. The tunnels are a kind of quiet poetry, a reminder of the patient labor of people who have long since gone, whose hands shaped these passages, whose breath warmed the cold stone, whose hopes still seem to whisper softly along the rails. Riding through them, you feel held briefly by the past, and then released gently into the bright, gleaming present of the lake. The Kamar-Daban Mountains rise along the southern shore of Baikal, a long, soft green range that catches more rainfall than almost any other part of the region. Because of this gentle rain, the forests here grow especially lush, with deep mosses, soft ferns, and tall trees dripping with quiet greenery. Walking through these woods is like walking through a great green dream. The light filters down through the leaves in soft shifting patterns, and small waterfalls trickle from hidden places among the stones. Sometimes you may come upon a tiny meadow filled with wildflowers, or a still pool reflecting the canopy above. The Kamar-Daban is a place of quiet beauty, a soft secret tucked along the shore of the Great Lake, waiting for slow feet and listening hearts. The Barguzin Valley lies on the eastern side of Baikal, a long green plain cradled between two ranges of low mountains. The Barguzin River winds slowly through it, its waters bright with reflected sky. Wild horses sometimes graze across the open meadows, and small herds of deer move quietly through the morning mist. In the distance, the white peaks of the mountains catch the rising sun. The valley is famous for a soft, warm wind called the Barguzin, which sometimes blows across the lake from the east. a wind so beloved that old Russian songs have been written about it for centuries. The Barguzin wind feels like a kind and gentle hand stroking the surface of the water, leaving long, slow ripples in its wake, like the brush strokes of a careful painter. There are several gentle hot springs scattered around the shores of Baikal, places where warm water rises softly from deep within the earth. The spring at Kakusi, on the eastern shore, is one of the most beloved. The water flows out at a comfortable, soothing temperature, and small wooden bathing pools have been built around it. People come from far away to soak in these warm waters, gazing out at the cold blue lake, while the gentle heat soothes their tired bodies. Steam rises slowly into the cold air, mingling with the breath of the bathers. The sound of the lake whispers nearby. To rest in a hot spring at Baikal in winter, with snow falling softly around you, is to feel held by the earth itself, warmed and quieted by its kind, ancient breath. In the spring, when the great ice of Baikal begins to break apart, the lake fills with a soft and constant music. The ice cracks and shifts, releasing low, rolling sounds that travel for miles across the water. Sometimes the cracks sing in high, clear tones, like the strings of an old instrument being gently plucked. Sometimes they boom softly, like distant drums beneath the surface. The Buryat people say the lake is waking up, stretching its long, slow body after the winter sleep. Slowly, over many weeks, the ice gives way to open water, and the surface of Baikal begins once again to ripple in the soft, fresh wind, ready to welcome the long, green days of summer. There is a strange and gentle phenomenon on Baikal called the methane bubble formations. In autumn, before the lake fully freezes, small bubbles of gas rise slowly from the lake bed, and when the surface begins to freeze, the bubbles become trapped in the ice. They appear as soft white discs stacked one above the other, like frozen pearls suspended in a great clear glass. From a distance, the ice can seem to be filled with delicate frozen lanterns, glowing pale and ghostly beneath the winter sun. Walking across such ice feels almost otherworldly, as though one were crossing the surface of a strange, beautiful planet. And yet it is only Baikal, doing what it has always done, turning the slow processes of the earth into quiet works of art. In the long, dark nights of winter, the sky above Baikal sometimes fills with stars in numbers that seem almost beyond counting. Because the region is far from any large city, there is very little light to dim the heavens, and on a clear, cold night, the Milky Way arches across the sky like a silver river of soft, scattered light. You can see countless constellations, and sometimes faint, distant nebulae, and occasionally even the green, soft glow of the northern lights drifting gently along the horizon. Standing on the frozen lake beneath such a sky is like standing inside a great cathedral made of stars, a place so large and so kind that even your quietest thoughts seem to be held and gently understood. The Buryat people, who have lived along Baikal for centuries, are descended from ancient Mongolian tribes who came to this region long, long ago. Their traditional culture is deeply connected to the land and the water, to the soft rhythms of the seasons and the gentle ways of the animals. They have always been a people who listen, who notice, who keep the small knowledge of their grandmothers alive through songs and stories and quiet ceremonies. To learn even a little about Buryat culture is to be reminded that the world is held together not only by great rivers and mountains, but by the quiet hands of small, kind people who have loved their land faithfully across the slow turning of many generations. The Buryat shamans, called boos, have for centuries served as the spiritual caretakers of the lake. They sing softly to the spirits of the water and the wind, leave small offerings of milk and grain, and whisper old prayers in a language as gentle as falling snow. The boos are deeply respected by their people, and even today, in quiet corners of the region, You may come upon small wooden platforms or carved wooden poles where offerings are left by passing travelers. The shamans believe that everything in the world has a soft soul, that even the stones and the trees and the small wild birds are alive in their own quiet way. To walk through Buryat lands is to walk through a world where everything is sacred, where every gentle thing is gently loved. There is a quiet tradition along Baikal of tying small ribbons of colored cloth to the branches of certain sacred trees. The ribbons are called zala, and they are tied with a soft wish or a quiet prayer, often a wish for safe travels or for the health of a loved one. The trees become slowly dressed in these soft ribbons, blue and white and red and yellow, fluttering gently in the wind. From a distance, such a tree looks almost like a small celebration, a quiet party of colors held in the branches. To pass by one of these trees and add your own small ribbon is to join in a centuries-old practice of kindness, a small gesture of gentle hope offered up into the slow breath of the world. Olkhon Island has a famous place called the Three Brothers, 3 tall stone pillars rising side by side near the shore. The Buryat people say they were once 3 young brothers who were turned to stone by a great spirit for a wrong they had done, and now they stand together forever, watching the lake. They are weathered and softened by the centuries, and their shapes seem to lean gently toward one another, as though they were quietly speaking. Birds nest in the small crevices of the rock, and lichens grow in pale patterns across their surfaces. Standing before them at sunset, you feel the long, slow pull of story, of legend, of the soft human need to find faces in the stones and meaning in the patient shapes of the world. The Maloya Moor, or Little Sea, is the narrow strait of water between the western mainland and Olkhon Island. It is a quiet, sheltered place where the water is often calmer than the open lake, and where the sunsets stretch long and golden across the surface. In summer, small fishing boats drift gently across the Little Sea, their nets trailing softly in the water. In winter, the strait freezes into a smooth highway of ice, and small vehicles travel back and forth between the mainland and the island, leaving thin, dark tracks across the silver surface. The Little Sea is a soft, intimate space within the vastness of Baikal, a place where the Great Lake feels almost close enough to embrace, like a kind older sister offering a warm and gentle hug. The Ushkani Islands are a small archipelago in the eastern part of Baikal, 4 little islands rising softly from the water. They are famous as the favorite resting place of the Nerpa seals, who haul themselves out onto the warm sun-lit rocks in large, gentle groups, dozens and sometimes hundreds of them, lying together in soft silver heaps. From a distance, the rocks of the Ushkani Islands seem to be alive with slow motion, the seals shifting and stretching and yawning in the warm sun. Their soft barks and gentle calls drift across the water, mingling with the cries of seabirds. To witness the seals at the Ushkani Islands is to witness one of the kindest small wonders of Baikal, a quiet community of round, soft beings resting peacefully together in the sun. Cape Burkan, on the western shore of Olkhon Island, is one of the most sacred places in all of Siberia. It is here that Shaman Rock rises from the water, and it is here that the Buryat people have come for centuries to leave offerings and pray. The cape itself is a quiet place of pale stone and short grass, with views stretching across the lake to the distant mountains. There is a small wooden gate at the entrance to the most sacred area, and visitors are asked to be quiet, to be respectful, to walk softly. Even those who know nothing of the local beliefs feel something here, a hush, a gentleness, a sense that the place itself is listening, and that all the long centuries of prayer have left their soft mark upon the very air. The Tunka Valley lies just to the west of the southern tip of Baikal, a wide and gentle valley framed by mountains. It is famous for its many mineral springs, where soft, warm water bubbles up from deep within the earth. The valley is dotted with small spa villages, where people come to rest, to bathe in the healing waters, to drink the cool mineral water from old stone fountains. The pace of life in the Tunka Valley is unhurried and kind. Farmers tend small fields. Cows wander slowly across green pastures. In the evening, smoke rises softly from the chimneys of wooden houses, and the smell of pine and bread drifts through the streets. It is a place that feels deeply, gently restful. A place that knows how to slow down and how to welcome a tired heart home. The little town of Bolshoye Golustnoye sits on the western shore of Baikal, in a wide green meadow where the river meets the lake. It is a small village of wooden houses with a friendly old church and a quiet harbor. The name means big river mouth in Russian, named for the soft place where the river spreads wide and meets the lake's silver waters. Wild horses sometimes graze in the meadow, and in the summer, families come to swim in the cool water and lie on the sandy beach. The pace is slow. The air is sweet. To spend a quiet day in Bolshoye Golustnoye is to feel as though you have stepped into a soft, simple painting of a life lived close to the earth, kindly and well. The Holy Nose Peninsula stretches into Baikal from the eastern shore, a long green arm reaching out into the water. It is part of the Zabaikalsky National Park, a protected place where forests and meadows lie quietly beneath the slow turning of the seasons. The peninsula is famous for its hot springs and its gentle beaches, and for the rare sight of brown bears walking carefully along the shore in late summer, looking for berries in the soft grass. From the high points of the peninsula, you can look out across the open water to the Ushkany Islands and the western shore beyond. The wind is fresh, the light is clear, and the world feels very large and very kind, all at once, in the way that only Baikal can make you feel. The Chiverkuy Bay lies on the northern side of the Holy Nose Peninsula, a soft, calm bay where the water is often warmer than the open lake. In summer, the bay glitters in shades of pale turquoise and gentle green, and small wooden boats drift slowly across its surface. There are tiny islands scattered through the bay, each one a small green jewel rising from the silver water. Birds nest along their shores, and small fish move in soft schools through the warm shallows. To rest beside Chiverkuy Bay on a summer afternoon, with the sun warm on your shoulders and the breeze whispering through the grass, is to feel as though you have found a small private corner of the Great Lake, a quiet pocket of beauty made just for the slow, kind enjoyment of a peaceful and grateful heart. In the very deep places of Baikal, far below where sunlight can ever reach, there are mysterious slow currents that move in patterns no one fully understands. These currents shift water from one part of the lake to another, very slowly, over weeks and months and years. They are like the long, quiet breaths of a sleeping giant, gentle and steady and almost imperceptible. Scientists have been studying these currents for many years, lowering soft instruments into the dark water, listening for clues about how Baikal moves and breathes. And yet, even with all the careful study, the lake keeps many of its secrets, holding them close in its dark and patient depths, where they have rested undisturbed for millions of years. The water of Baikal, in summer, is some of the coldest fresh water on Earth. Even in the warmest months, the surface temperature rarely climbs above the gentle cool of a mountain stream, and just a few meters below, the water remains close to the cold breath of winter all year long. To swim in Baikal even in July is to feel a sweet, fresh sharpness, a kind of bracing kindness that wakes the skin and quiets the mind. The cold is not unkind. It is simply honest, the cold of clear, pure water from a place where everything has been carefully preserved for a very long time. Those who swim in Baikal often emerge with a soft, glowing smile, refreshed in a way that no other water in the world can quite manage. Among the small green plants that live in Baikal, there is a remarkable kind of sponge that grows in soft, branching shapes along the rocky lakebed. These are the Baikal sponges, and they are found in many gentle shades of green, from soft moss to deep emerald. They can grow surprisingly large, sometimes forming small underwater gardens that look almost like coral reefs. The green color comes from tiny algae that live within the sponges in a quiet partnership, sharing food and shelter in a soft, ancient agreement. Divers who have visited the deep waters of Baikal describe these sponge gardens as enchanted places, full of slow motion and soft color, secret meadows blooming in the cold, dim light far below the surface. The Olkhon Door, also called Saraisky Beach, lies along the eastern coast of Olkhon Island. It is a long, gentle curve of pale yellow sand, stretching for miles beneath the soft cliffs. In summer, the beach is warm beneath bare feet, and small waves whisper at the shore in a steady, gentle rhythm. Wild flowers grow in the meadows just behind the dunes, and the sky above stretches wide and blue and open. In the evening, the sunset paints the sand in soft tones of rose and gold, and the lake turns a deep, glowing amber. People walk slowly along the beach at this hour, leaving soft footprints behind them, listening to the quiet music of the water and the wind, and feeling deeply, gently. Well, there is an island in Baikal called Yaki, a long, thin sliver of land on the northern shore. It is barely more than a narrow strip of sand and grass, and during certain seasons, it almost disappears beneath the rising water. Birds love this island. Many species of water birds gather here to nest, raising their young in the soft, tall grass, their gentle calls drifting across the water. To approach Yaki by boat in the early morning, when the mist still lingers on the surface and the sun is just beginning to warm the air, is to enter a place that feels almost beyond the world, a soft, floating sanctuary made for the careful living of small, wild things, where everything is touched by the patient, kind hand of the lake. The Frolica Lake is a small jewel of water tucked into the mountains near the eastern shore of Baikal. It is reached by a quiet forest trail that winds slowly through cedar groves and across small wooden bridges. Frolica is famous for being the home of an unusual red fish called the davachan, a kind of Arctic char that lives nowhere else but here. The lake itself is a soft, deep blue, surrounded by tall, quiet trees, its surface broken only by the occasional ripple of a fish or the soft landing of a small wild duck. To hike to Frolica is to slow your breathing without trying, to let your mind grow quiet without trying, to find yourself, by the time you reach the shore, already half asleep in the soft arms of the forest. In the deep waters of Baikal live tiny shrimp called Macrohectopus branchiae, which travel up and down through the water in great, slow daily migrations. By day, they rest in the dim, cool depths, sometimes hundreds of meters below the surface. By night, they rise gently toward the upper waters to feed, drifting through the dark in soft, slow clouds. These tiny migrations happen quietly, invisibly, every day, year after year, century after century. They are one of the largest, gentle movements of life in the entire lake, a slow vertical dance performed by countless small beings, each one barely the size of a grain of rice, each one part of the soft-breathing pulse of the great living lake. The mountains around Baikal hold many small alpine lakes, hidden high in the folds of the ranges. Some of them are no larger than a small pond, while others are wide enough to reflect the entire sky. They lie cradled among grey stone and green moss, fed by snowmelt and rain, surrounded by silence. To hike up to one of these little lakes in the warm summer months is to discover a small, private heaven. The water is icy cold and crystal clear. The wind is soft and clean. There is no sound but the trickle of water and the call of a distant bird. To sit beside such a lake and gaze down at the great silver Baikal below far in the valley, is to feel the world holding you with both hands, gently, kindly, completely. The Baikalsky Nature Reserve stretches across the southern shore of the lake, a great protected area of forests and mountains and quiet rivers. Within its boundaries, wildlife moves freely and undisturbed. Bears wander, sables hunt, eagles circle high above the cedar groves. There are quiet hiking paths through the reserve, where you may walk for hours and see no other person. Only the soft turning of leaves, the gentle drift of clouds, the careful prints of animals in the soft earth. The reserve is one of the gentle gifts of the modern world, a place set aside to remain wild and old and slow, a place where the soul of Baikal continues to live on in its truest, kindest form. The Barguzin Nature Reserve, on the northeastern shore, is one of the oldest protected areas in all of Russia. It was created more than 100 years ago, specifically to protect the sable, a small, soft-furred animal that had once been hunted nearly to disappearance. Thanks to the patient care of the reserve, the sable population has slowly recovered, and now these gentle creatures move freely through the deep forests. The reserve is also home to many other creatures: brown bears, lynxes, musk deer, and countless small birds. To walk through the Barguzin Reserve is to walk through one of the slow success stories of careful human kindness. A place where patience and gentleness have allowed the wild world to heal and to thrive again. The town of Severobaikalsk lies at the northern tip of Baikal, a small, friendly settlement of wooden houses and quiet streets. It was built relatively recently, during the construction of a long railway, and yet it has the warm, slow feeling of a much older place. There is a small museum where you can learn about the lake and its people. There are little cafes where steam rises from cups of hot tea and the windows fog gently in the cold air. There is a long pebble beach where you can walk in the evening and watch the sun set behind the mountains, painting the water in long, soft strokes of color. Severobaikalsk is a quiet doorway to the wilder northern reaches of Baikal, a small kindly threshold where the gentle journey deeper into wilderness begins. In the deepest northern reaches of Baikal, the lake remains wild and unvisited for much of the year. The shoreline here is rugged and beautiful, with steep cliffs falling sharply into the cold water and small hidden coves tucked between the headlands. Wild reindeer sometimes wander down from the high mountains, and great brown bears walk along the pebble beaches at dawn. The light in the far north has a special quality, soft and clear, with long lingering twilights in summer and deep velvet darkness in winter. Few people live here, and few people travel here, and the lake at its northern end remains much as it has always been, a quiet wilderness of water and stone, and patient ancient time. There is a long quiet tradition among Russian writers and poets of finding inspiration at Baikal. For centuries, artists and thinkers have traveled to the lake to walk along its shores, to gaze at its waters, to listen to its silence. Many have written poems and stories about Baikal, trying to capture in soft words the feeling of standing before something so vast and so old and so deeply alive. Whether or not the words ever quite succeed, the tradition continues. And even today, people come to Baikal not only to see it, but to listen to it, to let its slow, ancient voice speak to them, and to carry a small piece of its peace away with them when they return to the busier world. The composer who wrote the famous slow piece called The Sacred Baikal drew his inspiration directly from the lake itself. The song is a soft, gentle melody, sung often as a slow folk ballad, and for many people in Russia, it is one of the most beloved pieces of music in their cultural memory. The melody rises and falls like the slow breathing of the lake, with long, soft notes that seem to stretch out across the silver water. To hear the sacred Baikal sung quietly by a soft voice is to feel the lake itself singing back, a tender exchange between music and water. between the human heart and the great kind heart of Baikal. The forests around Baikal contain many old groves of larch trees, tall, slender trees with soft needles that turn a bright, glowing yellow in the autumn. Larches are unusual among conifers because they lose their needles each year, and in the late autumn the entire forest seems to catch fire with soft golden light. The hillsides around Baikal become great washes of yellow and amber, the colors so warm and so kind that they seem almost edible. When the cold wind comes and lifts the needles from the branches, they drift down through the air like soft, golden snow, settling on the forest floor in slow, patient layers. To walk through a larch forest in autumn is to walk through a great, kindly miracle of color and quiet light. The Siberia tradition of yurt living is still alive in some parts of the region around Baikal. The yurts are round, soft homes made of felt and wood, with a small fire in the center and a soft opening at the top to let the smoke drift out into the sky. Inside, the yurt is warm and gently scented with wood smoke and tea. Soft rugs cover the floor. Soft cushions line the walls. The round shape of the yurt feels like an embrace, and the soft round opening above frames a single circle of sky. To rest inside a yurt on a cold Baikal night, with the wind whispering outside and the small fire glowing softly within, is to feel held by an old, kind tradition, a way of living that has known the secret of warmth and quiet for many, many centuries. In the Siberia tradition, the lake is sometimes spoken to as a great kindly ancestor. People bring small offerings to the shore, a piece of bread, a coin, a few drops of milk. They speak softly to the water, asking for blessings or thanking it for its gifts. This is not a formal religion, but a quiet way of being, a soft acknowledgement that the lake is alive, that it listens, that it deserves the same courtesy one would offer to a beloved older relative. To watch someone perform this small ritual is to be reminded of the gentleness that humans are capable of, the kindness with which we can treat the world when we remember to listen, to thank, to honor the slow, patient gifts that have been given to us by the earth. In the small villages along the shore of Baikal, you will often see houses with carved wooden window frames painted in soft blues and greens and creams. The carvings are intricate and old, made by patient hands across many generations, each one a small work of folk art. The wooden houses themselves are warm in winter and cool in summer, built carefully to suit the long, cold seasons of Siberia. Smoke rises from the chimneys in soft drifts. Cats sit in the windows, watching the slow movement of the day. Old women tend small gardens in the backyards, growing potatoes and cabbages and small bright flowers. The villages have a quiet, simple beauty, a beauty that asks nothing of you, a beauty that simply offers itself softly, kindly, like a slow, warm hand. The food of the Baikal region is hearty and gentle, made for cold, long nights and slow, happy gatherings. There is borscht, the soft red beet soup, served warm with a dollop of cream. There is pelmeni, small dumplings filled with savory meat or mushrooms, floating in clear broth. There is the famous smoked omel, tender and sweet. There are little jars of pine nut jam, made from the rich nuts of the cedar trees. There is black bread, dense and dark, served with soft yellow butter. The food is shared at long wooden tables, with steaming cups of tea poured from old samovars, and the kitchens smell of dill and wood smoke and warm bread, and everyone leans back in their chairs with kind, contented sighs. The samovar is a beloved tradition in this part of the world, an old metal vessel for heating water for tea, often beautifully decorated with intricate patterns and warm, shining brass. In a Russian home along Baikal, the samovar holds a place of quiet honor on the kitchen table or in the corner of the warm living room. Water is heated within it slowly by a small fire, and the soft, steady steam rises like the breath of a quiet companion. From the samovar comes endless pots of dark, fragrant tea, served in small glass cups with little spoons and small dishes of jam. To share tea from a samovar on a winter afternoon, with the snow falling softly outside, is to participate in one of the kindest small ceremonies of warmth that human beings have ever invented. In the mountains north of Baikal, there is a region called the Kodar Mountains, a place of high white peaks and deep cold valleys. Here, hidden among the stones, there are small glaciers, soft ancient pieces of ice that have been resting in the high cold places for many thousands of years. The glaciers are small but beautiful, with surfaces of pale blue and white, and around them grow tiny alpine flowers that bloom only briefly in the short warm summers. Walking near these glaciers is to walk in a place where time itself moves differently, where centuries pass like minutes and the slow patient work of ice continues quietly, unhurried, gentle as a slow breath, as gentle as the slow breath of the very world. In summer, the meadows along Baikal fill with the sound of bees and the sweet smell of warm grass. Wild herbs grow abundantly here, thyme and chamomile and St. John's wort, and local people gather them carefully in the warm afternoons. The herbs are dried in soft bundles and used for tea throughout the long winter months. To drink a cup of tea made from herbs gathered along Baikal is to taste a small piece of the warm summer meadow, the sun, the wind, the gentle hum of the bees, all captured softly in the warm water of the cup. It is one of the small kind gifts of this region, a way of carrying summer into winter, a way of holding warmth in the heart even when the world outside is dressed in white. The Buryat people have a long tradition of horsemanship, and even today, in some parts of the region, you will see riders moving slowly across the steppe lands and the open meadows. The horses are sturdy and gentle, well suited to the long cold winters and the quiet summers. They move at the easy pace of an old companionship, and the riders sit easy in their saddles, often singing softly as they ride. There is a great kindness between the Buryat horsemen and their horses, a quiet partnership built over many generations. To watch a small group of riders moving slowly across a meadow in the golden light of evening is to witness one of the gentlest scenes in all the wide kind world. In the long autumn evenings, when the larch needles have turned to gold and the air smells of wood smoke and falling leaves, the people of Baikal gather often in their small wooden houses for quiet evenings together. There may be hot tea on the stove and soft pierogi pastries warming in the oven. There may be old songs sung softly in the dim lamplight. There may be stories told of grandfathers and grandmothers, of long journeys and quiet returns, of the slow turning of the years. These gatherings have a special warm sweetness, a sense of being held by family and friendship, and the soft, slow rhythms of a life lived close to the land. They are one of the gentlest treasures of the region. The waters of Baikal contain trace amounts of unusual minerals that have flowed in from the surrounding mountains across many millennia. These minerals are part of what makes the water so wonderfully fresh and pure. There are small, dissolved hints of silver and magnesium, of calcium and gentle salts, all carried in by the long, patient rivers. The water tastes faintly sweet, faintly soft, faintly alive in a way that ordinary tap water never quite manages. Local people often say that the water of Baikal is medicine for the body and balm for the soul, and those who have tasted it tend to agree. It is one of the kind, small gifts the lake offers, freely, generously, to all who come. The Sludyanka region, on the southern shore of Baikal, is famous for its beautiful soft mica, a kind of mineral that splits into thin, almost transparent sheets. For centuries, people gathered mica here, using it for small windows and for delicate decorations. Walking along the shore at Sludyanka, You may sometimes find small pieces of mica resting in the pebbles, glittering softly in the sunlight, smooth and bright as a piece of frozen rain. Holding such a piece of mica feels like holding a small fragment of the lake's long, quiet history, a soft gift from the mountains to the careful hand that finds it lying patiently on the shore. The Olcon Door is a famous stone formation on Olcon Island, where the cliff opens in a great arched gap, framing a perfect view of the lake beyond. From the right angle, it looks almost like a doorway into another world, a passage from solid earth into endless silver water. The Buryat people consider this place gently sacred, a soft threshold between the ordinary and the holy. To stand within this stone doorway and gaze out at Baikal is to feel, briefly, as though you are passing from one quiet realm into another, leaving the everyday behind and entering the soft, timeless heart of the lake, just for a moment, just for the length of a single peaceful breath. In the very still and quiet places of the forests around Baikal, certain rare wildflowers bloom for only a few brief days each spring. There are tiny pale orchids hidden among the mosses, soft pink rhododendron blossoms scattered across the high meadows, and clusters of small white anemones nodding in the cool wind. These rare flowers are like soft secrets shared by the forest, gifts that only patient and watchful walkers ever see. To come upon a hidden patch of wild orchids in a quiet glen by Baikal is to feel that you have been chosen for a small private blessing, a soft moment of beauty offered just to you, kindly, briefly. Before the season turns and the flowers gently fade, there is an old wooden lighthouse on a small headland along the western shore of Baikal, weathered and softened by many decades of wind and rain. Once it guided fishing boats safely home through the long northern nights, its warm yellow light blinking patiently across the dark water. Today it stands quietly, more a beloved memory than a working tool, but it is still tended by the local people, who climb its narrow stairs to keep it clean and to watch the sunset from its small windowed top. To sit near the old lighthouse in the evening, with the wind from the lake moving gently through the grass, is to feel held by all the kindly small histories of all the people who have ever loved this place. There are gentle traditional songs of the region that are sung very slowly, with long stretched notes that seem to echo across imagined water. These songs are often about love and longing, about the lake and the mountains, about the soft return home after a long journey. They are sung in voices warmed by many winters, voices that carry the kind weight of lived life. When such a song is sung in a small wooden room, with a fire crackling in the corner and snow drifting past the window, it can bring soft tears to the eyes, not tears of sadness, but tears of recognition, tears of being held by something old and good and deeply, deeply familiar. In the depths of winter, the ice fishing tradition is alive and well along the shores of Baikal. Small groups of patient fishermen drill careful holes in the thick ice and sit beside them for hours, waiting for a gentle tug on the line. They wear thick, warm coats and tall felt boots, and they carry small thermoses of hot tea. Sometimes they catch the silvery omul, sometimes a slim grayling, sometimes nothing at all. But the fishing is not really about the fish. It is about the quiet, the cold, sweet air, the slow companionship of friends, the soft satisfaction of sitting upon a great frozen lake beneath the wide blue sky, doing nothing more urgent than waiting, kindly, for whatever the lake decides to give. The little churches of the Baikal region are quiet wooden buildings, often painted soft white or warm cream, with bright blue domes that catch the morning sun. They stand in small villages, or sometimes alone in open meadows, surrounded by silence. Inside, the air smells of beeswax and old wood. Small candles burn before icons of saints whose painted eyes look out with patient kindness. The walls hold the soft prayers of many generations. To step into one of these little churches on a quiet afternoon is to enter a small pool of stillness, a place where time slows down and the heart can rest, where the only sound is the gentle crackle of a candle and the soft creak of old wooden floors. The Selenga River, the largest river flowing into Baikal, forms a great wide delta on the eastern shore, a place where many slow channels of water spread out across a long, flat plain. The delta is a paradise for birds. Thousands of waterbirds gather here, herons and ducks and rare swans, nesting in the soft reeds and feeding in the shallow pools. To pass through the Selenga Delta by small boat is to glide gently through a world of soft greens and silvers, with birds rising slowly into the air on every side, their calls drifting across the water like a quiet chorus, their wings reflecting the sun in soft white flashes against the long blue sky. The Baikal sturgeon is a large, gentle fish that has lived in the lake for many millions of years, a slow swimmer whose ancestors swam in waters that no longer exist on the modern map of the world. The sturgeon is rare now, carefully protected by the people of the region, who have come to understand the importance of letting it live its long, quiet life undisturbed. Some Baikal sturgeon can live for more than 50 years, growing slowly larger across the patient decades. They move through the deep, cold water with a kind of ancient grace, as if they remember the slow, long history of the lake in the small folds of their fins. In the soft beating of their gentle hearts, there is a small island in the southern part of Baikal called Olkhon Brother Island, near the shore opposite the larger Olkhon. It is a tiny, almost forgotten place, with a single small lighthouse and a few wild birds nesting among its rocks. Few people visit, and the island lies quietly in the great silver embrace of the lake, alone and content. To sail past it in a small boat on a still afternoon is to glimpse one of the kind, small, overlooked treasures of Baikal, a place that asks for nothing and gives simply by existing, the soft comfort of knowing that some small places in this wide world remain peacefully themselves, untouched by hurry. In the very quietest hours of the Siberian night, when the wind has stopped and the lake is utterly still, you can sometimes hear, very faintly, the soft singing of the ice. It is a small, gentle sound, a low chime, a quiet creak, a soft humming as the ice settles in the cold. The sound seems to come from everywhere and nowhere, drifting through the dark air like the breath of a great sleeping creature. Those who have heard it say it is one of the most peaceful sounds in the world, a sound that quiets the heart and gentles the mind, a sound that whispers to you, gently, kindly, that everything is well, that everything is well, that everything is well. The far northern shores of Baikal hold places where almost no human has ever walked. The cliffs rise tall and silent. The forests stretch dark and patient. The water beneath is deep and old. Wild reindeer move quietly through the trees. Brown bears walk along the pebble beaches at dawn. Eagles circle high above. There are no roads, no houses, no lights. There is only the slow turning of the seasons, the long quiet days, the deep silver nights. To know that such places still exist, that the wild heart of Baikal is still kept safe and untouched in its northern reaches, is to feel a soft, sweet hope, a quiet reassurance that the gentle wildness of the world is still very much alive. The lake has its own kind of moonrise, a quiet ceremony that happens every clear night. When the moon climbs slowly over the eastern mountains and spills its soft silver light across the water, the whole lake seems to become a great mirror, holding the moon in its endless calm. A long silver path stretches across the surface from the moon to the shore, like a soft road of light inviting you to walk upon it. The trees along the shore are touched gently with the same silver, and the world becomes a place of soft, cool light and deep, dark shadow. To stand by Baikal in the moonlight is to feel the kindness of the night itself, holding the world quietly in its soft, patient palms. In summer, Dragonflies dance in great gentle clouds above the shallow waters of the lake, their long thin bodies glittering in the sunlight like flying jewels. They move in soft, sudden patterns, hovering and darting and pausing in midair, their wings catching the light in flashes of green and blue and bronze. The dragonflies feed on tiny, gentle insects, and they themselves are food for the birds, and so the slow, quiet web of life continues. To sit beside Baikal on a warm summer afternoon and watch the dragonflies is to feel time slow down and almost stop, to feel that you have entered a small enchanted moment, a moment held together by the soft beating of countless tiny shining wings. The pebbles along the shore of Baikal come in many soft kind colors, gentle grays and warm browns, pale creams and soft blacks, and sometimes, rarely, small fragments of pale jade green or soft rose. Each pebble has been polished smooth by the patient water across thousands of years. To run your fingers through the pebbles at the lake's edge is to touch the slow work of millennia. The soft, careful rubbing of water against stone, the gentle making of small, beautiful objects from the rough, raw material of the world. Many visitors carry home a single small pebble from Baikal, a soft keepsake, a quiet reminder of standing once beside the great silver lake and feeling held by its old, kind peace. In the early spring, when the ice of Baikal begins to break apart, great, soft flows of ice drift slowly across the open water. They move gently in the wind, sometimes colliding with quiet crackles, sometimes parting silently. From the shore, you can watch them for hours, soft white islands of ice, slowly traveling across the silver water. Birds sometimes rest upon them, gulls and small dark cormorants, riding the flows like passengers on tiny ships. The spring breakup of Baikal is one of the great slow events of the year. A quiet farewell to winter, a soft welcome to the green warm months ahead, a soft turning of the lake's long calm clock. The Tazaran steppes lie along the western shore of Baikal, between the lake and the inland mountains. They are wide, rolling lands of pale grass and soft, gentle hills, where the wind moves freely and the sky stretches enormous overhead. Wild horses sometimes wander across the steppe, their manes lifting in the breeze, their hooves quiet on the soft earth. Hidden among the hills are small ancient burial mounds and old standing stones, left by people who lived here many centuries ago. The Tazaran has a soft, dreamlike beauty, a sense of openness and quiet old mystery, a feeling that the land itself remembers things that have long since passed beyond human memory, and holds them gently, as a grandmother holds a faded photograph. There is a quiet road that leads from the small town of Sakyota down to the ferry that crosses to Olkhon Island. The road is narrow and unhurried, winding through the open steppe and past small herds of sheep and cattle. The ferry itself is a simple flat boat that carries cars and passengers slowly across the little sea, taking perhaps 20 quiet minutes to make the crossing. As the ferry moves across the water, the wind is fresh and clean, and the long view of the lake opens up on every side. To cross to Olkhon by ferry is to make a soft transition from one kind of place to another, a slow ritual of leaving the everyday behind and stepping gently into a more dreamlike world. The Malloy Moor, the little sea, is famous for its sunsets, which often last for hours in the long northern summer evenings. The sky turns slowly through soft pastels, rose and apricot and lavender and gold, and the water reflects every color back in shimmering soft duplicate. The mountains of Olkhon Island stand dark against the bright sky, and the small islands scattered across the strait become silhouettes against the glowing water. To watch a sunset over the little sea is to feel time melt softly away, to feel that the evening is being given to you slowly, kindly, generously, as a long, unhurried gift, with nothing to do but receive it with quiet gratitude. In the autumn, the slow southward journey of migrating birds passes over Baikal in great gentle waves. Cranes call softly overhead as they fly in long, graceful V-shapes against the autumn sky. Geese pass in patient lines, their wings beating slowly. Swans drift southward in small family groups, their white forms bright against the grey clouds. The birds rest sometimes upon the lake before continuing their long journeys to warmer southern lands. To sit by Baikal in autumn and watch the birds pass overhead is to feel part of a great slow rhythm of the world, the kind ancient cycle of leaving and returning that has been turning quietly across the long centuries of the earth. The mountain peaks around Baikal often hold their first snow as early as September, when the high places turn soft and white, while the valleys below are still green with summer warmth. The white peaks against the green forests against the silver lake create a layered painting of color, a soft visual chord that holds the eye gently for a long time. As the autumn deepens, the snow line slowly descends, day by day, until by midwinter the whole landscape is dressed in deep, cold whiteness. But for those few weeks of early autumn, the world around Baikal is a place of three soft colors woven together, white and green and silver, a quiet, beautiful music made entirely of color and light. The traditions of healing in the region around Baikal often involve a slow, patient mixture of herbs, water, warmth, and quiet attention. Local healers, sometimes elderly women with kind, soft hands, gather plants from the meadows and forests at the right times of year. They steep them carefully in hot water. They wrap them in soft cloths. They apply them gently to weary bodies. The healing is not hurried. It takes time. It takes warmth. It takes the soft presence of someone who cares. To be tended by such a healer is to feel held by an old tradition of kindness, a tradition that knows that the body heals best when it is treated slowly and well, when it is given the soft gift of unhurried, careful, patient care. There is a place on the western shore of Baikal called Sandy Bay, a small, soft cove where the pebbles give way briefly to a stretch of warm yellow sand. In summer, families come here to swim and to picnic, spreading soft blankets on the warm sand and unpacking simple meals of bread and cheese and fruit. Children build small castles at the water's edge, while the gentle waves whisper at the shore. The sun is warm. The lake is fresh. The air smells of pine and sun-warmed sand. Sandy Bay is a small, joyful place, a place that holds many years of soft, happy summer memories within its quiet curve, a place that asks only that you come and rest in its gentle warmth. There is an old story among the Buryat people that says Baikal was once a great cup held in the hands of a kindly god, who one day poured the cup gently out across the earth to give water to all the thirsty creatures of the world. The water became the lake, and the gentle hands became the mountains that hold it still. It is just a story. Of course, a soft old tale told around small fires on long cold nights. And yet, when you stand at the shore of Baikal and feel the great quiet presence of the lake all around you, the story does not feel so far from true. The lake does feel held. The lake does feel given. The lake does feel like a soft gift, poured kindly long ago, and resting here ever since, with all its slow generosity, all its soft, patient peace. And so we come now to the soft, slow edge of our journey, where the lake spreads out before us one last gentle time, its silver surface holding the entire sky within its quiet calm. Lake Baikal, ancient and patient, sleeping among its mountains, breathing slowly across the long centuries. The deepest lake in the world, the oldest lake in the world, the keeper of 1/5 of all the world's fresh water, the home of the round, soft Nerpa seal and the transparent Golomianka fish and the countless small, careful amphipods who tend the clean, clear water with their tiny, patient hands. Baikal has held its quiet wonder for 25 million years, and it will hold it for 25 million more. long after our small, soft lives have drifted gently into the long, kind river of time. It does not hurry. It does not worry. It simply breathes, slowly, slowly, in the soft cradle of its ancient stone, and it gives, ceaselessly, to all the creatures who live within and around it, the gentle gifts of clean water and quiet beauty, and the soft, enduring peace of a place that has remembered, for a very long time, how to simply be. Tonight, as you drift now toward the soft shores of sleep, you may carry a small piece of Baikal with you into your dreams. You may carry the gentle silver of its winter ice, the warm gold of its larch forests in autumn, the soft turquoise of its summer shallows, the quiet song of its waves against the smooth, round pebbles. You may carry the round, dark eyes of the Nerpa seal, the slow circle of an eagle high above Cape Cowboy, the soft flutter of prayer ribbons in the cedar trees. You may carry the warm steam rising from a samovar in a small wooden house, the soft creak of ice settling beneath a velvet sky, the long, slow path of moonlight stretching across the calm, dark water. All of these gentle things now belong to you, softly, kindly, completely. They are small lanterns to light the inside of your dreams. They are small, soft pillows to rest your tired thoughts upon. They are small, kind hands to hold your weary heart while you sleep. The great lake is far away in distance, and yet it is very close in spirit. Here, now, in this quiet moment, holding you gently within the soft, warm embrace of its long, slow, patient peace. And now, dear listener, our slow, soft journey together comes gently to its quiet close. The lake is behind us now, and yet it is also within us, its silver surface still glowing softly somewhere in the gentle hush of your mind. You have traveled far tonight, across long valleys and old forests, across deep waters and ancient stone, across the slow, patient breath of 25 million years, and yet you have not moved at all. You have simply rested here, in this quiet place, letting the soft images drift through you like clouds drifting across a calm evening sky. There is nothing more to do now. There is nothing more to think about. There is nothing more to remember. You may let everything go, softly, kindly, completely. You may let your breath grow even slower, even softer, even sweeter. You may let your body sink even more deeply into the warm, safe place where you are resting. You may let the small last threads of the waking day slip away from you like soft, pale leaves drifting downward through still autumn water. If this gentle journey has brought you a small piece of peace tonight, you are warmly welcome to return again on another sleepy evening. When the world grows dim and the heart grows tired, and the soft call of rest begins once more to whisper through the quiet edges of your mind. A small light, a quiet follow, a kind comment, all of these are gentle ways to help this slow channel continue to walk softly beside you through many more peaceful nights to come. But there is no urgency. There is only this moment, only your breath, only the soft, sweet pull of sleep gathering you tenderly into its long, warm arms. The great lake is sleeping now beneath its winter ice. The mountains are sleeping beneath their soft white snow. The forests are sleeping beneath the silver moon. The small round Nerpa seals are sleeping in their hidden snow caves. The cedars are sleeping with their roots curled deep within the patient earth. The whole quiet world is sleeping, kindly, peacefully, together. And now, you too may join them, drifting softly into the great gentle sea of sleep that holds all things, all creatures, all weary hearts. In its endless warm embrace, sleep now. Dear one, sleep deeply. Sleep sweetly. Let the soft silver lake hold you all the long night through. Let the slow breath of Baikal carry you down into the warm, deep waters of dream. Let every gentle wonder you have heard tonight settle into you like soft fallen snow, quieting every thought, softening every feeling, easing every small tired place within your heart. Good night and sleep deeply.